Hello, council members, and thank you for the opportunity to speak and share the ongoings, accomplishments, and goals of the Ontario Association of Parents in Catholic Education, or OAPCE. My name is Ramez Takawi, and I am the OAPCE Regional Director for Dufferin-Peel. OAPCE's mission is simple and powerful: to engage, to advocate, and to enhance through the strength of our collective voice. We work through home, school, and church to strengthen the parent voice across Ontario. And our vision is to promote and protect publicly funded Catholic education across all Catholic boards in the province. OAPCE is the only Catholic parent organization recognized and regulated by the Ontario Ministry of Education. This is legislated under the Education Act Regulation 612, Section 318. This gives OAPCE a formal, mandated role in representing the Catholic parent voice provincially. OAPCE is a vital connection between the Ministry of Education, the Assembly of Catholic Bishops of Ontario, the Institute for Catholic Education, the Catholic Principals Council, Catholic trustees, regional parent groups, and Catholic school councils. We gather parent feedback, advocate on behalf of families, and offer education and formation for parents, both in Catholic faith and in practical school involvement. We had a terrifically busy year last year, with several successful meetings and events, highlighted by phenomenal guest speakers. Joe Perry, co-executive director of OAPCE, kicked off the year with his presentation called Super Parents. This highlighted the importance of the role parents play in their children's upbringing and education. Bishop Ivan Mathieu explained the importance of the Jubilee year. Dr. Josephine Lombardi elaborated on the theme of Pilgrims of Hope. Anthony Perrotta gave a highly informative presentation about AI in education. Joan Adegbi-Sanusi talked to us about financial literacy and future planning. And just last week, we had the privilege of hosting Lucy Colangelo at our kickoff regional meeting, where she had her presentation called The Great Reset, the Age of Digital Parenting, and How to Set Boundaries. OAPCE has several monthly publications that are on the website and shared with parent communities, the newsletter called Parents for Parents, and a blog where you can find reflections, faith resources, and other resources for parents. OAPCE was invited to join the Ministry of Education's task force to implement the revised Provincial Code of Conduct for the 2024 to 2025 school year. This initiative aims to refocus education on the basics, improve classroom environments, and enhance communication with parents, students, and educators. Last year, we had a parent survey, which I had mentioned in a previous meeting and promised to present the findings. So, here are the findings. Parents from across the province provided feedback on their opinions and experiences with Catholic school boards and their child's educational experience, from being informed about new policies to bullying prevention and cybersecurity, to perceptions about their child's education and concerns. Many parents appreciate visible anti-bullying efforts, but the data shows a need for ongoing, consistent messaging beyond themed days. As we can see, only 61% of parents were aware of prevention efforts. Parents expressed an interest for more parent engagement sessions that deal with this topic. Cybersecurity communication is still mostly incident-driven, often only after a breach. Which begs the question, would we have learned anything if not for the breach that happened last year? Parents are asking for a more educational and preventative approach, especially through speakers and classroom content. Communication about cell phone and vaping bans feels too passive, often just a single email. And as we know, emails are often overlooked. Only 70% of parents were aware of the policy. The other challenge is that school leaders aren't consistent when it comes to enforcing these policies, which literally destroys any foundation for this policy to be built successfully. Parents want schools to reinforce expectations and model consistency. Pride in Catholic identity came through clearly, but so did polarization, especially around LGBTQ and inclusion. This is a tension point we must approach with grace and clarity. Top parent concerns included curriculum conflict with Catholic teachings, student behavior and school safety, loss of Catholic identity, as well as mental health, curriculum quality, facilities, and funding. These concerns reflect a deep desire for clarity, values, and partnership. Parents are not disengaged. They're eager to support, but they need schools to meet them with transparency and trust. Their message is simple. Parents want proactive, clear, and consistent communication. Faith-centered schools that also embrace respectful dialogue, enforcement of safety and behavior policies, and a stronger parent-school partnership. In my opinion, I don't think this is too much to ask for. Our role is to ensure schools remain places of faith, safety, and excellence while navigating modern challenges with integrity and compassion. OAPCE is focused on engagement, advocacy, and enhancement, which are OAPCE's 3 pillars. We saw major growth in regional leadership with the inclusion of London and Niagara regional committees. We updated our tools for parent engagement and faith resources with the launching of local pages on the OAPCE website, as well as increased social media presence on Instagram and Facebook. The Power of One Parent Empowerment presentation was shared province-wide at our regional meetings and our annual conference, which successfully concluded our year, helped amplify parent voices across Ontario. Our advocacy continues at the ministry level, especially on school safety and Catholic identity, where OAPCE represented parents in the Ministry Task Force on PPM 128. We continue to strengthen Catholic identity through partnerships, and we consistently thrive to deliver what parents want: better communication, consistent policy, and stronger Catholic values, as stated earlier. Through newsletters, digital resources, and spiritual formation, OAPCE supports parents as faith leaders and education partners. This includes our monthly newsletter, our new faith-based hub on our website oapce.org, and hosting faith-based speakers such as Bishop Mathieu and Dr. Josephine Lombardi. Our year, like every year, was concluded with a bang. That is to say, with our annual OAPCE conference. Our 86th conference took place on May 24th of this year at St. Michael Catholic High School in Niagara Falls, with guest speakers Joe Perry, Teresa Hartnett, and Anthony Perrotta. Here are some shots from the conference. And by the way, allow me to take this opportunity to share my disappointment that I didn't see more of you at the conference. But hey, you can make up for your absence this year. I'll tell you why in a minute. Teresa Hartnett delivered an insightful talk centered on faith, family, and the foundational role of hope in parenting. Teresa began by reminding us that faith is not just personal, it's generational. What we believe, how we live, and how we show up matters deeply in forming our children's spiritual foundation. She used sacred imagery, like St. Peter's Basilica, to anchor the idea that where we come from shapes where we're going. Faith matters, she said, but what matters more is being there, consistently and lovingly. Life is a journey, a pilgrimage, guided not by perfection, but by intentional love and presence. She warned us about the danger of overscheduling, urging families to slow down, eat together, and make room for stillness, because that's where understanding often emerges. One of Teresa's central messages was that hope isn't passive, it's a practice. She quoted Romans, "Hope does not disappoint." She explained that hope is protective, mentally, emotionally, and socially. It strengthens our children against anxiety, stress, and burnout. We grow hope by modeling it first, through the stories we tell, the way we respond to challenges, and how we speak to our kids. Her suggestions were simple but powerful. Speak words of affirmation, foster open conversations, and teach your child how to reflect and reframe their thinking. In this Jubilee year of hope, we're called to remember that the legacy we leave behind isn't just what we say, but the faith and hope our children carry forward when we are no longer walking beside them. Anthony Perrotta cleverly opened with the Terminator, a shared cultural reference, to ease us into the big topic of AI. He quickly moved past fear and into relevance. AI is not the future. It's already part of our children's learning. Perrotta reframed school as more than just marks. It should be a space of creativity and lifelong curiosity. His breakdown of AI was helpful, showing us that most tools our kids use are still narrow or general AI. The Pope's quote grounded the talk in our faith. Tech is powerful, yes, but must serve humanity. As Catholic parents, we were reminded that AI is not the enemy, but it does need guidance. Perrotta acknowledged both the hope AI offers in meeting learners' needs and the concerns around disconnection and over-reliance. He encouraged us to invite AI into our conversations at home, not avoid it. Ask questions, share insights, even pray about it. His message was ultimately reassuring. With love and discernment, we can help our kids navigate technology with grace, not fear. That's why teaching discernment, not avoidance, is so important, especially for students. AI is like a calculator for thinking, powerful in the right hands, but no substitute for understanding how the math works. It reminded me of the science fiction novel by Isaac Asimov, The Fun They Had, a prophetic reminder of the loss of human connection when education becomes fully digital. Joe Perry reminded us that the smallest actions, when rooted in faith, can have a powerful ripple effect. He reframed advocacy not as something reserved for experts, but as a call for each of us to act with courage. His acronym ONE helped ground this theme in real practical steps. Own the responsibility, never give up. Everyone benefits. We also heard from our community members who told us their stories about their faith in action. Elizabeth overcame adversity through prayer, faith, and fierce advocacy for her children, reminding us that faith can anchor us even in life's hardest seasons, and can be passed on powerfully to our children. Joel, an immigrant father of 4, became a leader through service and Catholic values, reminding us that advocacy is not about status. It's about service, humility, and participation. Each story showed how one parent can shape a child's life and their school community. The final reflection was an activity using little color-coded Jesus figurines. Conference participants sat together in groups, according to what color Jesus they had, and had several conversation topics to discuss. This sparked faith-filled reflection and connection that was more than symbolic. It was communal and deeply spiritual. Joe closed with a powerful truth. When one parent acts in faith, others are inspired to follow, and Catholic education is strengthened from the ground up. Looking ahead, we look forward to more growth. This year, we look forward to increasing awareness of OAPCE and the partnership between us and the Dufferin-Peel School Board, increasing participation at the parent council level, and recruiting OAPCE school reps. And, by the way, Dufferin-Peel hasn't had much of a challenge here, since Dufferin-Peel parents are literally the most active in the province. Increasing communication about OAPCE to parents through social media and school reps. Increasing participation of parents in OAPCE virtual events and meetings. Again, this hasn't been much of a challenge in Dufferin-Peel. Increasing attendance in next year's conference. And speaking of conference, I'm betting the farm that next year's conference will be the biggest in a long time, as we are planning to have it in Dufferin-Peel. Tentative date is April 18th, 2026. I hope I see all of you there. Thank you.